I think the S24 Ultra is a $1,300 disappointment, and here's why. Before you start typing in the comments, it's better for you to consider what I say in this video. Design-wise, the S24 Ultra a smaller bezels compared to the S23 Ultra. This is because Samsung has removed the curved display. There is a new titanium frame. Anyways, otherwise the phone is the exact size, similar to all the flagships of the current generation. Okay, the screen is the biggest improvement for me. The 6.8-inch 1440p display is just beautiful. The display has a max brightness of 2600 nits, which is higher than that of Google Pixel 8 Pro's display, which I have considered the previous best display, which was 2400 nits. The flat display does make the S Pen more usable, but the curved display did have a better cool factor to it and actually looked better. Now the performance, the Samsung S24 Ultra uses the Snapdragon Gen 3. Which in all honesty is a fantastic chip. But I still think the Exynos 2400 did close the gap. The Exynos 2400 did around 2100 in single core. And around 6750 in multi-core, which is pretty good. While the Snapdragon Gen 3 did 2250 in single core. And around 7050 in multi-core. This in matter of single core performance is pretty even. This is impressive for S24 Ultra, but the iPhone 15 Pro Max is still the king with the A17 Pro chip. When it comes to single core, the iPhones is just on another level. Samsung has never matched Apple's single core performance, but currently it's quite massive. The iPhone gets a single core score of an insane 2940. And multi-core of around 7300. We all know the A17 Pro is still not greatly optimized, and in some leaks it was way quick. And it's even getting faster and faster update by update. But it's pretty good to know that Samsung is keeping up. It's not all bad for S24 Ultra. It's got great vapor chamber for cooling, almost twice the size of the S23 Ultra. Okay, now for camera. This is the biggest letdown in my opinion. The 200MP camera is still there untouched, with a 12MP ultra-wide sensor and 10MP 3x optical zoom sensor. The difference now is that there is number 10x optical zoom but a 5x zoom sensor with 50MP. Now the other 100x is just digital zoom, it just need more processing, is not sharp. Now in comparison with the previous phone, the S23 Ultra, the cameras are quite good, but the zoom at higher magnification can't capture details as much as before. The camera still defaults at 12MP, can't understand why they didn't bother to improve it to 24MP. So when comparing with iPhone 15 Pro Max cameras, I would say the images don't have quite as much as detail. The noise in low light seem to be reduced greatly, but still not a perfect. As in low light there is still a bit noise. The zoom in daylight is quite good, and at 5x it is very similar to iPhone. But at low light it's not quite good. The iPhone has more detail, and in the Samsung at low light the images seem to have quite a bit of blurriness in small detail like words. Macro shots in Samsung can't get quite close as Apple, but still the images are processed quite a bit and looks kind of sharp actually. In general, the images in the iPhone and Samsung, or even in Google Pixel or some OnePlus phones, it's pretty subjective. I prefer the iPhone because gives some images with well-controlled light. The iPhone 15 Pro Max controls light a bit better. Some photos in S24 Ultra seems to same to much light falling in daytime. Also, Apple does manage color contrast a bit better, especially at night. The pictures in iPhone look a lot better. Taking about video, the microphone in Samsung is finally better than iPhone's. The mic setup makes it better. The iPhone has better dynamic range than Samsung. But Samsung is better when using zoom. The cinematic mode and zoom while recording are great in Apple. Samsung can record 8K video. Now what I think gives the edge to Apple in this category is the ProRes log mode. This is a file format in which you can edit to create DSLR quality videos. Well, as per camera, in my opinion it's subjective, but in all honesty the improvement between the S23 and S24 Ultra is not as much I expected it to be. Even zoom in the S23 Ultra now seems more unique than the S24 Ultra with the zooming capabilities. Battery and charging-wise, the S24 Ultra has the best battery life of all the flagships and a huge improvement from the S23 Ultra. Charging time is still very similar. The USB port on iPhone still seems better as it supports 10 GB per second compared to the 5 GB per second of the S24 Ultra. Again, don't know why it hasn't been improved. Also, this year could be the first year where the base iPhone and the base Samsung S range phone has the same amount of RAM. This is quite fascinating when you consider the Android requires more RAM to run optimally than iOS. Now here comes the part which is the main issue with this phone in my opinion. Galaxy AI, yes, the thing which Samsung advertised the most. Now most of these features are available by third-party apps. But if you want inbuilt, here you got it. 7 years of software support. But here comes the main part. I criticized how many AI features are locked in Google Pixel 8 and available only in the Pro model. Samsung has gone a step ahead as stated these features are only available free till 2025. And don't forget they increased the price by $100, making the S24 Ultra the most expensive mainstream smartphone. Great. Let's summarize for a second: more price but not forever. Apple is also going to introduce AI features eventually. Google has AI features in Pixel 8 series. Then why should these even be paid? Let alone that, remember the compromises we talked in this video. This means that they removed some fan-favorite features but didn't add some fan-favorite features for free. Also, these AI features to most of the people are just a gimmick, like the 200MP camera was. Most of the people did not use it, but it was great when used. But these AI features seem not to be even free like that. The S23 series will also get these features, make the S24 Ultra look like there is actually not much improvement. To be fair, there is not actually much improvement. They had to make compromises and also added few great features. The S23 Ultra was still solid after the launch of iPhone 15 Pro Max and Google Pixel 8, but I doubt this to be the same. There is just too much compromises and waste of potential in this phone. Don't get me wrong, this is a great phone but not quite unique as Google Pixel 8. Even I think the S23 Ultra was more unique than this. Anyways, that's just my opinion. What's yours about the S24 Ultra? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video.